Marc Andreessen is an American businessman and software engineer. He is the co-author of Mosaic, the first widely used web browser with a graphical user interface, and the co-founder of Netscape. But perhaps he's best known as a co-founder and general partner of the Silicon Valley venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz. More recently, he's gained some notoriety as one of Donald Trump's greatest supporters. Well, to each his own. There's no accounting for taste. Many observers credit the term product-market fit to Marc Andreessen and his VC firm. The concept is famously used by Silicon Valley venture capitalists like Andreessen Horowitz and Sequoia Capital, and their influence has been massive. Search for the term on Google, as I did a few days before putting together this presentation, and you'll see hundreds or even thousands of hits from would-be business consultants trying to cash in on their success. There are inevitably huge numbers of nifty illustrations, like the one displayed on this slide. Billion-dollar startups that venture capitalists want to invest in are exceedingly rare. For venture capitalists themselves, it makes sense to get picky when you're trying to find unicorns, which are, after all, mythical creatures. Too often, business schools, government business incubators, and startup business consultants tailor their workshops and course offerings to the largest third of Canada's businesses. They're also a little too fond of unicorns, which, as I just said, are really mythical creatures. At the Main Street Journal, we believe it's important to understand the real needs of the smaller businesses that account for about 68% of private sector firms when you're trying to design and build programs and services that meet their specific needs. In other words, we embrace the notion of product-market fit. We believe that government policymakers, business incubators, business schools at college, and the largest professional service firms that dominate the legal and accounting professions don't understand the importance of our smallest businesses, or perhaps more accurately, they are too busy with their own self-interest to give a hoot about them. Since 2013, when private equity firms began counting billion-dollar startups, there have been about 1 million new businesses created in Canada, according to Industry Canada's key small business statistics. As of 2024, just 21 of these became unicorns. That is a measly 0.0019%, one of which happened to be my client. Social scientists Howard Aldrich and Martin Roof described this phenomenon in a 2018 article published in the Academy of Management Perspectives titled Unicorns, Gazelles and Other Distractions on the Way to Understanding Real Entrepreneurship in the United States. Interestingly, it took 2 sociologists to identify the issue. Where were our policymakers and management scientists when these guys stated what should have been obvious? To understand the market, we believe that it's best to find good quality statistics as a starting point. For us, Statistics Canada is a good place to start. After all, according to them, they employ over 7,200 workers in Canada. That makes them one of Canada's 15 largest public sector organisations. Since we pay for them through our taxes, we may as well use them. Inevitably, none of their studies exactly fits our needs. For example, we had to look at self-employment statistics in addition to statistics for employer businesses. Since, when it comes to our smallest businesses, the self-employed working without paid help represent the single largest group of businesses with fewer than 20 employees at about 89.7%, while firms with less than 20 employees represent 33.5% of all private sector employment. Not surprisingly, accounting, tax, and regulatory compliance needs are very different at different points along the continuum of firm size, even for these very small businesses. Designing a complex system for any business requires an understanding of the needs of that particular business, as well as the resources available, and sensitivity to costs for each. For example, in our field of accounting, we don't recommend that an owner-manager goes to QuickBooks Online and watches a few YouTube videos to set up an accounting system. It may not be rocket science, but it's at least as hard as carpentry or drywalling, and you wouldn't want to try those without lots of experience.